rest of the time split up, darting around, exploiting the fact that the Colossi are slow and have to stay with the army, and it was very, very nice defense at the north.
Socke asked for a moment to determine what map he was going to play.
And you know what one he has chosen, Dr. Wheat?
I do know, but why don't you go ahead and tell while I create this game and get it ready.
It is the crowd favorite of Desert Oasis. Yeah.
all two people out there who were fans of that map were like, yeah, but I said, I went to Socke, I said, map? And he said, give me a second, please. And then you could see that intensity in his face, you know, and again, I like this. So you mentioned it. It's one of those things where it's like, usually you got a plan. Usually you got a plan in a situation like this. So we're going to be bringing Jinro into the game as well. I think he's just reviewing that replay real quickly.
Now, Desert Oasis is the sort of map where you do have this sort of funky, long-term dynamic to it. We inadvertently hosted on Agria Valley, which is one of my favorite maps to test build orders against computers on. But we are, of course, in winners round 3 here at MLG Dallas. Going to join Desert Oasis. It's one of those maps where you actually don't have to have a super crazy, ultra-specific plan. It's not like the sort of map where you have some sort of intentional cheese set up on it, but it is the sort of map where you have a good overall long-term plan. Socke is very good at just getting some late-game Void Rays on this map once Terran is spread out to begin chewing through supply depots and buildings in the Terran's main. He's very good about taking expansions and throwing down Templar, Zealots, all over the place, and hopefully eventually a mothership.
Oh,
hopefully
eventually it may happen. So all right, we're just waiting for Jinro. You know, this happened last time, where we, for whatever reason,
we desperately wanted to invite him to the game, and it would not let us.
Yeah.
So Jinro is going to log out, log back in. We are going to re-invite him to the game. Now, Socke is probably going to have a lot of comfort on this map because most good players want the game to go on longer. That's where really the automation you have in your brain takes over, and you stop having to worry about, you know, all the specific crazy early game antics and that sort of jazz. So he's going to be able to get away with just progressing to the late game no matter what.
All right, there we go. Finally able to bring him in. Okay, Jinro looking good, accepting that invite. Socke also looking good. Thank you very much. And we're going to make sure the players are ready.
And it seems like both players are ready, so we are going to start Game 2. Give a cheer for LiquidJinro and Socke from Alternate Attacks. Good luck and have fun to both players. We are starting right now.
Socke said, let's go Jungle Basin instead. Just the last moment, right as the countdown's going. But
just switch back to Agria Valley.
Jinro says, I've actually played that map. Ooh.
Oh,
interesting.
Wow. Does that mean he can hear us? Actually,
no,
we can't.
It was in chat.
You know, that's one of my great experiences of way back when I played in tournaments, way back when I was a little girl, when they would turn the headphone volume up so loud, and anytime you forgot pylons, it would just ring in your sinuses. You could hear it through those big soundproof headphones. But either way, we have our higher-seeded player, Socke, down 0-1 in the north position as the red Protoss. At the bottom, we have LiquidJinro as the lower-seeded but winning player right now as the blue Terran up 1-0.
Now, we talk a lot about positioning. Sometimes the map of your main base and the location of it, there's some certain things that may benefit different races. For example, like the scrap station Zerg wanting to spawn on the top. In this particular matchup day, would you say there is any advantage either way to Socke, either spawning here versus down below?
I don't really think that there's going to be too huge of a difference. There's no ultra-exploitable tactics. I mean, really, on this map, the one thing that you need to be absolutely certain of is that your late game and your macro is very, very good because there's just so much action spread out and so much discomfort as you get 3 and 4 bases that you need to be one of those players who's real calm about watching the minimap regularly and keeping that money low.
And then you had mentioned the concept of taking it to the late game, you know, utilizing even Void Rays or any other units that can cross those gaps quickly. Do you think we could see an early?
I would love to see an early Void Ray. I mean, I've definitely seen Socke do it before. He played an epic game against the Russian player Braddock that definitely went late into the game, and he opened up with that very, very fun, fast Void Ray strategy because these positions are so close, and probably most importantly because these gas geysers are gigantic vulnerabilities. So definitely, definitely a big possibility, as we've even seen him do it before.
All right, well, probes are going out. SCV's also going to scout. Remember, because of the destructible rocks, you've got to make that long travel distance all the way over to your opponent's base. He's going to get there just in time to see that the lights in the barracks are on, and there's a Marine coming out. Second one is going to follow, and also putting the supply depot back here just for some additional vision, because that's one of the few places they can funnel through unless they do take out those back rocks.
Yeah, and one thing very important to note, Jinro is going to be early expanding as he has taken no geysers yet. Very, very good thing to do on this map as the distances are absolutely gigantic. And now we're going to see Jinro getting into Socke's main. What Jinro really wants to see is whether or not that second gas geyser is down. Okay, he is so close. He could almost see both of those geysers. They're right there within range, we can see. But the two geysers are, there we go. That's a huge indication that there's some sort of big tech opening, because you really don't do any of the typical openings on this map because of the giant distances. You either early expand or go for some sort of air or DT rush.
So if there is, if he's going to assume this is going to be some air tech because it would be the most advantageous to him, at what point do you go, okay, I need to put down the NG base, start getting turrets up, and there we see Stargate going up right now. So for the Terran player, at what point are you like, okay, I need to start thinking about what could be coming into my base?
Well, let's find out. It takes 60 seconds to build a Stargate, so I'd probably say in about a minute he needs to be worried about that. He's getting more barracks right now. Generally, you want stim against Void Rays, but he just doesn't have enough time to do that, so he might be spending an excess of money on those turrets, or he might just try to go straight up balls out and do only Marines without stim. We see the 4 barracks going down right now, so Jinro will not only have some defense for this, but will also have the ability to be aggressive back, and Socke's Stargate is rapidly finishing.
Yep, it's just about to finish, and we'll see what comes out of there first. We've also got Warp Gate, about 75% done, as that slowly completes. Almost a simultaneous look at the Xel'Naga Towers with this probe and that Stalker at the exact same time. This probe is going to be making its way down. He'll be met with a few Marines here. Bunker being put at this forward placement. I do like that. Now, should players be concerned about getting vision at these back rocks in a similar fashion to, say, Blistering Sands?
Yeah, eventually, I would say, but rushing for it, I'm not the biggest fan of. Oh, Socke, you're so cool. He's getting Phoenixes. He's playing straight up Noni style. Even though I don't really think we've even seen Noni get Phoenixes today at all, still, that is Noni style, baby, getting those Phoenixes out. He's going to be able to scout very, very quickly. We see Jinro continuing to churn out Marines. He needs that ever-essential stim pack upgrade. The engineering bay is going down now, and it looks like Socke canceled that warp gate to get the Nexus up very, very fast. So he's going to have exactly 1 warp gate out right now, with that second one coming up eventually. But there's the Phoenix. Oh, needs to be very careful with that.
Slowly moving on through there, but we'll be met up with another Phoenix, and they will get some information on what's going on inside the base. Other than the T side and just dropping scans, it is a very cheap, effective way for the Protoss to scout with some very fast movements. Just got to watch out for these small blobs of Marines as they can, just like we saw, get a good position on those Phoenix and take them out. We do have some missile turrets going up as well. They'll do some lifting. He cancels it very smartly, as to not just sit there and get chewed up by the Marines, and we'll continue on.
Looks like that engineering bay is done, and obviously the turrets are up, but no upgrades being spent. Looks like it's just Marines going down. There was some. Oh no, he flew directly over the turret. I heard noise and got excited and checked the tech lab again. But at the same time, it looks like Socke is now going for Zealot with leg speed, and that definitely feels to me like Socke is feeling quite a bit under pressure to be getting the Zealot with leg speed that quickly, because look at this army from Jinro moving out right now. He is almost done with stim, just churning out Marines. He knows that since his opponent made Phoenixes that he's very vulnerable. He doesn't have a lot of ground units, and Phoenixes are not good in small numbers. They get stronger when you get 4 or 5 of them, so with exactly 1, it's going to be almost useless in this battle.
Well, and in this particular situation, Jinro is set out just at the right time. Stim will be finishing up here shortly. They will go ahead and easily dispatch of this Stalker there if the Stalker doesn't run away, and he does, splitting his Marines, still moving Army forward, and also just getting them back in the middle, so that Stalker will run away. He's trying to get as far as he possibly can. Marines are still going to chase after him, and there he'll finally be able to take it out as he begins to continuously move forward here.
More barracks being added, factories finishing, the Gold Expo going down for Jinro, and he's going to have to be throwing down way more barracks if he wants to hope to be able to keep up with that production. But already we see Socke feeling a lot of the heat that Jinro's putting out right now. He has 5 warp gates out right now. Is that a 6th? Yes, indeed, a huge warp gate army. Very similar actually to Final Form, who we saw against Greetorp, favoring those Zealots with leg speed against these big Marine mixes, and without that combat shield upgrade, those Marines are going to fall mighty fast.
Now we do have gold going down here for Jinro, and he's in a position where it's likely going to get scouted here by this Phoenix, but at the same time, I don't know what the Protoss is going to be able to... Well, he could at least lift that SCV and just delay it a little bit, and that's exactly what he'll do. And then, of course, that stops him, so he's got to react, so you can see it's not building. Put it back on there. There you go.
Oh, there we go, and it's finished. Great. Now, that is really what makes a player good. A player who takes expansions, not because there's no risk of it being scouted, but players who will just really happily defend it, even if their opponent scouts it at any point. We see more barracks out for Jinro right now. Pretty big Zealot plus Sentry army. The Zealots are so strong in combination with the force fields, and at the same time, even more barracks going down from Jinro. Big Ghost Academy coming out right now, and here comes the force. Oh, and there's, oh no, that's 5 force fields that did not really do much. How unfortunate.
Yeah, he put his Zealots back just a little bit. He dropped the force fields and popped the Guardian Shield, but he'll just back off a little bit. Now, I want to ask you, because it looks like Socke wants to at least move forward a little bit here in this matchup. Where is he going to want to try to put a forward pylon to reinforce? Is he going to wait